Hello, I'm Juliet Pusateri, and this talk is on designing games for healthy sleep. This paper is co-authored with Judith Leng, Qian Wang, Xiangzhu Chen, and Jessica Hammer. A key factor influencing quality of life is getting a good night's sleep. Lack of sleep affects a range of outcomes, including learning, risk for Alzheimer's, heart disease and cancer, and mortality. Yet more than 30% of adults and 70% of adolescents are sleep deprived in the US. When it comes to existing interventions for healthy sleep, we find 5 major approaches. Explicit instruction describes educating users or giving personalized recommendations. Sleep analytics includes visualizing users' sleep data from their smartphones or sensors within the environment. Some technologies help with sleep timing by creating sleep-wake schedules or syncing waking with the body's rhythm or sleep state. Reflection support describes helping users to be more aware of their decision-making around sleep by receiving cohort-based recommendations or using text input to reflect on sleep decisions. Implicit support refers to influencing sleep indirectly, such as through mindfulness technologies or stress reduction exercises. So, what do games have to offer? Why would we even want to consider games as a solution? The transformational game framework demonstrates the wide capacity of games to transform players, from changing attitudes to behaviors to social relationships. And it emphasizes that in order to do so, there must be deep connections built between the problem and game design practice. These deep connections are typically understood to be best practices for game design. While games can explicitly address sleep, the embedded design approach argues that subtle approaches to transformation can also impact players powerfully. In some cases, embedded interventions can outperform more explicit approaches. Finally, games can create a wide range of player experiences or aesthetics. For example, cozy games incorporate safety, ambiance, and abundance while avoiding time pressures or individual responsibility. Work to date on sleep and games within human-computer interaction has been limited. Existing approaches either seek to explicitly educate users or gamify sleep by adding rewards for sleep quantity or quality. These approaches are relatively shallow uses of games as a medium. We see opportunities for games to contribute much more to healthy sleep. We explore the potential for sleepy games as a genre of transformational games that aim to improve sleep quality for players by targeting context and time-specific barriers that arise throughout their day. Our research questions included: how can games engage with barriers to healthy sleep through embedded design? What are the key shared challenges in designing sleepy games? What tools might we create to help address them in the design? What is the player impact of sleepy games? How do the design challenges reveal new opportunities for game design? During the game design process, teams created 9 games through iterative playtesting. Teams produced a range of materials which were analyzed to bring out common design challenges faced by different groups, resulting in 7 design challenges. Based on our coding of the process material, we were able to identify coverage of the design challenges across the 9 games. These challenges manifested differently for each game. We selected 3 games that together allowed us to explore the complete set of 7 challenges. The selected games are Dream On, Good Night, and Office Shots. Stakeholder types included intervention target, or person with sleep barrier, active players, or people playing the game, and non-playing stakeholders, or non-playing individuals affected by the target's behavior. 9 game design teams created sleepy game prototypes, many of which were comprised of both physical and digital components. And in consultation with sleep experts from an industry partner, each team selected a user group that had known barriers to healthy sleep. Barriers included factors such as others in the household, physical pain, mood, scheduling, breathing, and environment. I'll focus on the 3 games played in the field trials. Dream On targeted people who sleep away from home in unfamiliar environments. This could include anyone from people who travel for business or conferences to first-year college students. Dream On has players participate in a relaxing choose-your-own-adventure, like the example pages you see on the screen. At key choice points, players are asked to make their decisions by drawing an aromatherapy token from a bag and using the smell to inform their decision. One key insight from Dream On was that smell strongly links memory and emotion, which creates familiarity in a new environment. Good Night targeted users such as night shift or swing shift workers who want more communication with the friends or loved ones in their household. Good Night offers a means of asynchronous communication to build family bond. Household members on different schedules create and respond to coded messages throughout their day. The refrigerator acts as the magnetic message board centrally located in the household. In the image at right, you can see parallel schedules, which show that the red band, or FaceTime, between individuals in the household is limited. A game round ends when players gather in person and explain their messages. One key insight from Goodnight was that the cadence and location of play allow access to all players on their individual schedules to maintain emotional connection without having to sacrifice sleep. Office Shots targeted professionals who have sedentary jobs and rely on caffeine to stay energized at work. Office Shots is a multiplayer social game that happens in person in the workplace using a communal coffee machine. Players must redeem coffee tokens in order to drink coffee and can challenge coworkers to mini games for additional tokens. The game helps players to be more intentional about coffee consumption and seeks to change the office culture around coffee norms, thereby positively affecting sleep timing and quality at night. One key insight is that built-in conversation dynamics encourage coworkers to talk about their caffeine intake habits and lead to self-discovery. To analyze our design artifacts and documentation, we use the 7 cross-cutting challenges of designing games for sleep, articulated in our prior work toward a design theory of sleepy games. We also created design tools, and those are described in the paper. In conducting our field trials, you'll recall our research questions. What is the player impact of sleepy games? And how did the design challenges reveal new opportunities for game design? We conducted 12 field trials in which materials were provided to players to take and play in an authentic context. Players were provided with up to 2 full days to complete play. Participants were eligible for the playtest if they experienced one of the relevant problems with sleep, and they were assigned to a game for which they were the intended audience. Participants were interviewed both pre and post play. Interviews were transcribed for analysis using the codebook developed for the design analysis mentioned already. Though field tests were not designed to measure behavior change outcomes, we nonetheless observed that the games changed players' relationships to sleep by providing opportunities for experimentation, reflection, and conversation. Players reported increased awareness of their sleep-related choices. Players were enthusiastic about playing and exploring alternative ways to incorporate gameplay. Players had unexpected and positive social interactions in multiplayer games. Let's look at how each of our 7 design challenges was revealed in the field trials. In Dream On, the players smell one of the aromatherapy tablets and choose their progression in the story based on the memory it evokes. Players can complete the task without trying to control the task. Players agreed that Dream On gave them a sense of control, not just within the game, but over an environment that was not necessarily welcoming. Dream On, which is played just before bed, seeks to lower players' arousal levels. Players indeed described the experience of reading while smelling the aromatherapy tokens as calming. Both Goodnight and Office Shots relied on timeline mapping to design player behaviors. Office Shots alternates between strict and fluid temporal activities. Players were more self-aware of the timing of their behavior, such as coffee intake. Decisions around sleep are embedded in a social rather than solitary context. In Goodnight, the overlap time between players is an opportunity for them to engage in social interactions. Playtesters saw gameplay as an opportunity to intervene in the social structure of the home. Sleepy games consider players' embodied experience of the game, and players described their sensory experience in Dream On as affecting their overall game experience. Sleepy games address players' sense of vulnerability around sleep. Playtesting suggested that games can mitigate the discomfort that comes with sleeping in an unfamiliar place. One participant became so comfortable during playtesting that they chose to play the game unclothed. Sleep decisions are intertwined with sleepers' identities and values. For example, people may see staying up late to work as a signal that they are industrious and committed, even if their late night work impairs their overall productivity. One of our playtesters reported precisely this dynamic. Through field trials, we came to see sleepy games as creative, social, and situated practice. Sleepy games as creative practice. In external playtests, we observed that participants produced artifacts related to sleep over and above any artifacts produced by gameplay or data collection. The most common forms of artifact creation were sleep logs, photographs of gameplay, and diary-based reflections on sleep. Some participants also reported that other people in their life created artifacts around gameplay, posting on social media. We hypothesize that this playful creativity may provide a new approach to sense-making with health data, suggesting relevance to the wider HCI community as health data is increasingly collected. Sleepy games as social practice. In our design work to date, we focused on designing games that are played by the person with the sleep issue. However, our findings demonstrate that this is actually an assumption. The person playing a sleepy game is both affecting and being affected by other people in their life. We can use this insight to design games for people adjacent to a sleep problem. Sleepy games as a situated practice. We observed that players were willing to modify their environment as part of gameplay. For example, office shots involved adding game materials to a shared office space. Goodnight took up real estate on the family fridge, and even Dream On required players to make space for it in their luggage. We see this as an opportunity to use choices made during gameplay to affect the physical or social situation in which sleep takes place. Making changes playful can help players to try new things, regardless of their current willingness to experiment. To conclude, we would like to thank Philips Healthcare for funding this work. Thank you for your time.